Good Erev Shabbos, Parshat Chukat. As from Yidden and as aspiring Jews to be able to connect to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we have goals. We have goals in our life. We have aspirations for our limud Torah, for our learning of Torah. We have aspirations for our ruchnias, and we have aspirations for our gashmias, especially here, at PWI, Pilzno Work Inspired. We have aspirations. We're real with our aspirations to be successful in our Parnassa, to be successful in our businesses. And the Gemara in Brachos shares a secret of a special group of Jews called the Hasidim Rishonim. Don't think they were Breslov, I don't think they were Chabad. This is before Baal Shem Tov, but they were Hasidim Rishonim. And we're told that the Hasidim Rishonim were able to crack the code of seeing Hatzlacha, seeing success in their Limud Torah, and seeing success, the Ruchnias, and seeing success also in their Parnassa. And we're told, the Gemara Brachos tells us that their secret was that when it came to the Limud Torah, they made their Torah the Iker. They made their Torah the Iker, and when it came to their Malacha, they made it Arai. They made it something which, for now, we'll just translate as being something which is not Iker, temporary, right? Not necessarily the main focus. Now, there's a life-changing Sfas Emes we find in this week's Parsha, really explaining the Yesodot of the Baal Shem Tov, where he says, what does it mean? What does it mean that these Hasidim Rishonim made the Torah was Iker and their Malacha was Arai? Right? Did that mean that they didn't work? Right? I know for myself, coming across this Marmakom, you can see this and say, okay, it means that a person just learns Torah, maybe they do a little bit of work, and then that's where they see the Hatzlacha. The Sfas Emes says a transformational understanding. He says the following. He says, when it says they made their Torah Iker, yes, they went to work, yes, they were in the office, yes, they were involved in their Parnassa, but in everything that they did, in every action that they did, right, in every action, right, in every installation, right, in every email sent, if they were sending emails, right, every microchip that they developed, whatever they were doing, right, every pulling out weeds, whatever they were doing in their malacha, the ikar of what they were doing, right, where their consciousness was Torah, which means what? Not that they were being mahara and sugyas, but what it means is that they were learning from whatever they were doing and connecting to Avodas Hashem. They were thinking about HaKadosh Baruch Hu. They were understanding how their work is connected to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. They were seeing how there are mitzvahs that are connected within the work of what they were doing. And that's what it means, that the Iker was the Torah in whatever they were doing. And the Sfas Emes says here in Parshat Chukat, beautiful pshat, he says, what does it mean, Zois Chukas HaTorah? He brings down from his grandfather, the Chidush Harim, this lashon of chukas is connected to the word mechoykek, right? To be drilled in, right? Like something that's drilled in, it's chiseled in. And if we want to become people in which the Torah is not something which stays, in our Daf Yomi Shir, right? Or in your Amud Yomi Shir, or your Nach Yomi Shir, whatever you're learning, right? Inside the Beis Medrash, we want to become people in which the Torah becomes instilled within us. It becomes part of our flesh. It becomes who we are in essence. We need to become people that when it comes to our Torah and when it comes to our work, they become unified. It's one process. Even outside the Beis Medrash, when we go out to our offices, we're able to connect everything to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Now, how did they do this? It's a nice idea. You may be saying, very nice, Tzvi, but how do I do this? How were they able to do it? So I'd like to suggest perhaps that we can see an answer from something else we know about the Hasidim Rishonim. What else do we know about these Hasidim Rishonim? We're told in the Gemara Brachos as well, earlier on in the Masechta, that it says that the Hasidim Rishonim had a minhag that before they davened, they would be sha'achas, right? They took the time, right? They took the time before they were involved in tefillah to prepare themselves for tefillah. Now, why did they do that? What were they doing during that time when they were preparing themselves for tefillah? So I know for myself, sometimes I just roll myself into a mincha, roll myself into a mariv, and perhaps when I get the Shemon Esrei, in the middle of Shemon Esrei, it's like, okay, this is what I'm doing. I'm standing before HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Why am I davening? The Hasidim Rishonim were experts. They were masters of preparation, masters of hachana, masters of intention, which means that before they jumped into something, they made sure to stop, take a deep breath, and ask themselves, why am I doing this? Why am I standing up for HaKadosh Baruch Hu? What is tefillah all about? And through doing that, they were able to be successful in their tefillah. And perhaps we can say this is the Yesod of the Hasidim Rishonim. How were they able to live this unified life, to be able to chisel the Torah into their existence, that even buried under a pile of papers, they're able to be thinking Ein Oid Mavadai and connecting everything to Ruchnius, because they were practitioners of stopping and asking themselves, why am I doing this? Start with why. Tomorrow, today, if you're still in the office, you're sitting there, before you start work, ask yourself, why am I doing this? Why am I at work today? I'm here to be able to help support my family. I'm here to be able to express and manifest those talents that I have, to be a shliach of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Start with why. And if you start with why, that opens up the pathways of being able to live an integrated life of Avodas Hashem. Have a good Shabbos.